I'm back. So you guys are getting 2 videos today. And yeah. Hello guys, my name is Kira, and for those of you who don't know me, I am an indie writer, artist, musician, I guess, and yeah, I work in film and photography, which is cool, in commercial film, whatever. I run 2 small businesses, yada yada yada. Anyways, so if you hear background noises, it's just my rabbit being annoying. So it has been exactly 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day since I posted and uploaded and published my debut poetry book. So I'm kind of doing a little video about self-reflection and how that process went. So this is me self-reflecting on my debut poetry book. So for those of you who don't know, I am the writer of Older. It can be found on Amazon, and it's a little banged up, this copy, at least this is my copy, so there's like a tear here and the cover looks like shit. But this is my copy, and Older is a poetry book about the things that you don't understand until you get older. Oh my god, my rabbit is literally moving my tripod right now. I am so sorry. I'm having so many complications today. Anyways, so Older is about all the things that you don't understand when you're younger because you're too young. You don't have the worldly experience. You don't have the intuition. You're young. And it's about a lot of the things that you don't understand until you get older and are able to see from other people's perspectives. Which, yes, I know, I recognize I am still very young. I'm 21 years old. But at the same time, like, it's things that all of us go through. This book is about, you know, love, heartbreak, suffering, loss, but it's also about, you know, redemption and finding yourself and being able to see through other people's perspectives and being able to, you know, embrace change, you know, and that is kind of what this book is about, for me at least, and it is personal to me, but I hope some people out there can relate to it as well. If not, that's totally okay too. You know, writing is subjective. Writing, you know, some people like it, some people don't, and that's okay too. But there are a lot of things that I would have done differently. And for one, I think I definitely would have added more illustrations. Let's see if I can find one for you guys. One of the big themes in this book are whales, as you can see on the cover. Because whales are like the animal of ancient wisdom. They're the animal of just old, like, knowledge, stuff like that. And something about that really stuck out to me. So a lot of the imagery in this book have to do with whales, and I had my illustrator do these, which was amazing. He was amazing to work with, but I definitely think I would have added more illustrations to the book. Not one on every page, because that would have been a little obnoxious, I personally think, just for me and my style, but I definitely would have added more, and a lot more illustrations that have to do with how I feel. So for example, I would want to do a lot of my own illustrations next time. I love hiring an illustrator, don't get me wrong. I have an illustrator right now currently for my second poetry book. If you want to see that video, you can just scroll down, whatever. But I do want to eventually do my own illustrations, but I think for this book specifically, I would have liked to do my own illustrations, or at least try, now that I can do digital art and I've learned to do digital art. A second thing that I would have changed is that I think I would have brushed up on the topic of insecurity and, you know, self-expectation and comparison. So for example, I have a poem in here called Not That Girl. And, or Not That, I don't fucking remember. I'm dumb. I don't even, like, remember my own poems. But anyways, I have a poem that's called, I think, Not That Girl. And it's about how, you know, she's comparing her beauty standards, she's comparing how she looks to other girls, and it kind of relates to how I felt growing up, you know, growing up in an all-white town with lesbian mothers who were also white, and me and my sisters being all Chinese. You know, we didn't really grow up with that many people looking like us, you know, and let alone, even if they did look like us, they didn't really accept us because we were, like, you know, Americanized and whatnot. So it was like about identity. And just comparison. So I think I would have definitely added more themes of comparison and identity in this book. I think that's something that this book lacks, you know, and that's just my own personal mistake, and that's okay. We all make mistakes, but it's definitely something I would change, because this is, you know, this is my debut poetry book. So I definitely would have liked to add more identity into it, because identity is just so important to me. As I just said, you know, I had a very odd upbringing, and I think adding an element of identity into this book would have really made it a little bit more special and a little bit more unique to me. The thing that I think I would have changed was, I like this back cover. I like that I added one of my poems on the back, and like the poem of the whole theme of the book, which is, I'll read it to you in a sec, but I think I would have liked to add like a little border like around it, or like some type of illustration on the back cover that goes along with the front cover. I didn't really think of it at the time, and it kind of just like went over my head and just, I didn't even think about it. So now that I'm looking at it, and I've had a little time to reflect on it, I definitely think I should have put a little bit more time and effort into the back cover as well. But the poem on the back says, "My hope for you is to experience the world. May you walk down this road in future years, cherishing the things that built you, made you stronger, remembering those who have come and gone, and all of the things you have learned as you got older." And, you know, I get a lot of criticism for this book in the sense that, you know, oh, I wrote this book when I was like 18, 19, or like 19, 20, I don't remember. I'm 21. And I get a lot of criticism from some people that are like, oh, you're so young, you're still so young, you don't know anything. And, you know, I understand. I completely understand that. I'm clueless. I'm freaking dumb as shit sometimes. I'm a dumb kid. But guess what? Like, we were all dumb kids at some point, you know? And this is just from my perspective, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? So, like, on one hand, I understand where people are coming from. But then again, I've also had people like in their 50s and 60s. I've had many people in their 50s and 60s, even older, say that they loved this book and that they were easily able to relate to it. And then I've had some people say that they hate it. So, you know, like I said, writing is so subjective. But one thing that I think I would have done differently is I would add a little bit more elements of aging, physically aging. So I have a lot of, like, you know, motifs and themes about, you know, maturation, and like getting older and stuff. But I don't have many poems in here about actually growing, you know, physically. So for example, you know, girls and boys, of course, you know, when you go through puberty, it's so weird. And being a teenager is just a weird time. You're angry, you're hormonal, you're horny, and it's just not a good time. And high school sucks. It's literally the worst. Even if you're popular, you got your own issues, whatever. But I think I would have added like a section about, you know, actual physical growth, and how, you know, that does play into part of your maturity level, and that, you know, it's different for everyone, and not everyone's going to go through the same things that you go through. You know what I'm saying? So I think I would have done that a little differently. Yup, the poem is called Not That Girl. I don't know if you could see it right there. I got it right. But anyways, that's one thing that I would have done differently with this book. But overall, I'm very happy with how this book came out. I think I also would have made it a little bit longer. This one's about 120 pages but I still really enjoy it. This is my baby. This is my baby. I love her. She's I'm so proud of her, but sometimes I get a little ashamed talking about it. I poured a lot of my heart and a lot of my soul into this book, and it's very vulnerable for me to share it with the world, but I'm okay with that, because that's just me. I'm a very, like, emotional person. But it does, you know, it does suck sometimes when people don't like it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with that. Like, I've come to terms with that. But I don't know, it's scary, and sometimes I don't really talk about it, and sometimes I don't really advertise about it as much as I should, because I'm almost afraid of people reading it. I'm kind of afraid of people knowing who I am on that level, you know? But as I say in one of my poems, you know, what good are emotions if they cannot be felt?